Hello and welcome to the Red Laugh Right podcast. It's been a while. We're back, team. I'm Matt.
And I'm Ben.
Hi guys, I'm Michael.
Michael's
back.
Yeah,
welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. We are, of course, Red Laugh Right. Before we jump in, we just need to apologise for our absence.
Yeah, so first I died on the end of the last podcast. And then Matt's computer died the next time we tried to record one. So here we are again, back at it. And going forward, this is season 3. And
Indeed.
We're doing even more changes and making it even more awesome by splitting up the episodes so that they're not so long and kind of structuring it a little bit differently so we get a little bit...
You got to get those clicks.
Get those
so you'll figure it out.
Clicks.
You'll figure it out. Basically, we're cutting the episodes in half.
Yep, basically it will give us a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
In terms of for scheduling. Yeah. All right. Let's jump
into what is our famous first segment, reading the headlines, where we read some headlines on the top of Reddit. Had a look at what's trending today. First headline from Science: taxing sweetened drinks by the amount of sugar could cut obesity and boost economic gains. Such a tax would also result in economic gains primarily through savings in healthcare costs, about 1.4 billion per year nationwide. Of course, talking about in the United States. I found this headline quite funny because literally just yesterday or today even, I was watching an episode of Parks and Recreation where this was literally like a bill that was put forward.
In Parks and Rec.
Yeah, in Parks and Rec in this fictional world where they decided to implement this sugar tax on sugary drinks.
And what happened in the show?
They passed the bill, but basically everyone it's a town that's famous for being full of obese people, even though in the show you don't really see that many obese people.
Yeah.
And like basically their small size was just like a tiny, not tiny, like a jumbo, and they called it small and all that kind of thing. And because this company Sweetums basically owns the whole town, they hire like half the people who live there and everything. So
yeah, was there any positive change?
Not that we've seen so far. I'm only a few more episodes down the track, so. But in terms of in real life,
so here's my issue: we can't have these conversations, right, until someone explains why, right, you can get like a 2-litre bottle of Coke for $2 and then like a 2-litre bottle of water for $4, right?
Yeah, so you think you're saying the tax is probably a good idea.
Yeah, but I'd be like, rather than making the thing more expensive, why don't we make the water cheaper?
Right. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Making it more accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, that just leads back to the same problem of like, you can say that people can kind of choose what they're eating, etc. And they can like up to a point, but there's a certain privilege that you have to have economically to like be able to even do so. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're saying it's harder for poor people to eat healthily. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what one of the comments was saying.
Yeah, I would say so. Or at least, I don't know, like there's less obvious kind of avenues to take. Like people can always be like, oh, why don't you just like cook up a big meal at home? But like, if you're wanting to cook a healthy meal at home, it actually costs kind of a bit of money now.
Yeah, it costs money and it takes time. I end up only cooking a meal like once a month or something because like it's such a stress.
So when it comes to taxing, I mean, I don't know. It's hard because you do want to de-incentivize people from buying these things, etc. But it's also going to be hard because a lot of people are like using these like foods or sugary foods as well, like as a kind of daily spending thing. Right. But I don't know. It depends what we're talking about. I guess if it's just sugary drinks, right?
Yeah, that's what
that's, nobody thinks that sugary drinks are good for you. And there are options of similar price that you can probably buy that are much better for you. So
right. But do they taste as good?
Do they taste as good? No. But, well, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. Sugary drinks are kind of shit.
Right. Well, moving on to the next headline then. Couples were asked to tell their race for a Virginia marriage license and now they're suing. And some examples of what the, quote, approved races were includes Aryan, Octoroon, Quadroon, and Mulatto, which apparently means like an eighth or a quarter or a half African American. Basically...
Wait a second. Approved races? For
so
what?
As in the state... or whatever had this list of approved races and you had to pick and choose what race you were.
Is this one of those cases of like a 200, 300-year-old law that just
it's like a really old outdated
Jesus
legislation or whatever.
I'm so confused. I didn't even know what half of those fucking were. Has Virginia changed it since when did this happen?
I'm sure they will be.
I reckon it's
Yeah.
probably
As
one of
in-
those things where like they kind of just ignore.
Or they'll just stop asking people
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
to
it's
fill out from that dumb list. Speaking of horrible laws and politics, Amber Rudd resigns as Boris Johnson's government plunged into further chaos. I haven't really followed any of this Boris Johnson stuff. I've just heard that it's really
I don't
bad.
know.
It's so bad.
His hair is so stupid. I can't stop looking at it.
So essentially, he's just like the British Trump. Is that how it is?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He was one of those people who like was extremely pro Brexit at the time, and
Yeah.
he's kind of always had that like position. It's different because he's a journalist.
Oh,
So he's
okay.
always kind
as
of
opposed to a
been-
reality TV star.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, he's always been the person who's kind of sticking it to the man,
Right.
and now he's somehow made it,
Right.
and it's crazy because he loves sensationalism. So what's he doing? You know, he's using these tactics like more openly than even Trump would
Yeah.
to like basically bring down the government, which is amazing and ridiculous.
And then just Brexit itself is just such a clusterfuck of a
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's
of a
nothing they can
screw
do now.
Britain wanted to leave,
Yeah.
but they still wanted all the benefits of being
Yeah.
in the fucking union.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Yeah.
there was like 3 things that they were. I remember like watching a video, and it was like 3 points of like stuff that they needed to decide.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we won't have this, we won't have this, like we won't have this.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that they didn't even think of was the Irish border
Yeah.
between Northern Ireland and Ireland.
Yeah.
And so now that's like a huge thing.
There's
still
so many issues and so many like
that just
little
people
things.
didn't think of.
Yeah, well, people didn't think of it because they weren't educated properly.
Yeah.
But I'm not British, so that's all I have.
Neither, I'm not British
Yeah.
either, but
Yeah.
I'm part British. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I just mean I don't live there. This
Yeah.
isn't, yeah.
Oh, was that third one?
Yeah, that was
I
it.
can't count.
Sorry, I'm just like
speaking-
gesturing towards Matt to like move it on. and he's like,
Speaking of numbers,
Oh.
our next segment
Numbers.
is top 5.
oh, look at that! Look at that one.
Is
Love
top
it.
5. So top 5. Top 5's basically we make our own top 5 lists, and today's one is award season movies coming out like the end of this year.
Most anticipated Oscar contenders.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
or likely Oscar contenders.
Yeah.
So things we're looking forward to seeing that we think are in the race
Yep.
for the Oscars.
So as usual, I have to preface my list with disclaimers. My major disclaimer being I don't anticipate movies, so I really struggled. That's pretty much it.
Wait, what do you mean you don't anticipate movies?
Well, like, okay, let me read.
Because that's quite a sentence.
I'm very much 90% of the time I like watch movies way after they come out.
Oh, okay.
like
So you don't like follow the news, or you don't like.
I'm just always late to the party. Like
Okay.
I hear about movies and stuff, and I just forget.
Instantly.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's just in one ear, out the other ear, pretty much. But like
Yeah.
I follow the like movie news and like especially when it comes to like the Oscars and stuff, and
Cool.
sort of what the pundits are saying. I'm just
Cool.
lazy and I never go
You don't
out and
actually see
actually
the
watch them.
films.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, but you are going to see all of these because they're in your top 5 most anticipated films of the year, of the rest of the year.
I'm gonna make no promises because. All right, here's my number 5 pick: is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is Tom Hanks
Yeah.
being. Fuck, what's the guy called? Rogers.
Mr.
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Yeah, so like, I don't know, it's it's a biopic. It's got Tom Hanks in it. Like, what more could you want?
Have you seen Won't You Be My Neighbor?
No, I haven't. I meant to watch
Won't
it.
You Be My Neighbor is a documentary that came out, and pretty much as soon as that movie was successful, Marielle Heller like fast tracked her story of this,
Right.
which it's interesting how that works. Is sort of like we know that the story is popular, so we're now going to like bring this
Right,
up, and we're
I
going to
see.
get Tom Hanks, and so that was like a quite successful documentary that got snubbed actually
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
Oscars. Although I don't think this will get snubbed because it's got
Tom Hanks. Anything with
it's
Tom
got
Hanks.
yeah.
It's the typical thing of the Academy really likes their biopics, so it's like
That's also true.
Oh, they do, right? But there's so many now.
Yeah.
But I guess this is by the director who made Can You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy,
Oh, okay.
which
I've
just
heard
came
that's
out.
good, but I haven't. Seen
Yeah.
it.
I just realized I don't think I have. Oh, I was about to say I don't have any biopics in my top 5, but that's half a lie.
Half a lie.
Half a lie.
Half a lie.
You're going to have to explain that one.
Yeah, I'll get there
when you get to it.
we do.
I don't think I have any more to add.
You can just roll into it, bro.
Yeah.
Just roll it.
To the left.
Just do it.
Me?
Just do it. Just go straight into it.
Okay, my number 5 is 1917.
Oh, yeah?
So this
Is this what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
Yeah, what do you think it is?
Is this the one with Adam Sandler?
No, this is not. This doesn't contain any Adam Sandler.
Wait, no. Is this the one that's the one about Belgium, World War One?
Oh, there might be a bit of Belgium in there.
It is about World War One.
Yeah, it is about World
That's
War One.
literally that's literally all I know about it.
Yeah.
I know things
So
sometimes.
1917, it's directed by Sam Mendes, who has made Skyfall, and the other Bond movie that was like worse, Spectre.
Right.
And he did American Beauty way back, all of that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just feels very big already. It's got Roger Deakins, who is the greatest cinematographer ever, shooting it. And there's rumors of like these massive sweeping long takes, and like Sam Mendes goes all out. Like he really does go all out. He's just one of those. He's one of those directors who is very visual in focus.
Yeah.
And applying that to like a sort of a war movie, a World War One movie.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Will be very interesting.
It's exciting because most war movies these days that I've seen are World War Two, and so I think it's really interesting to go into World War One a bit more because we don't see it as much. I think.
I heard something about them saying that they wanted to do what Dunkirk did for World War One. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense. Sam Mendes and Chris Nolan are friends. They probably love each other's movies.
Sweet. My number 5 is a movie that realistically I don't know anything about. That's Little Woman.
Oh,
which is
directed
by Greta Gerwig. Sorry. Yeah. Stars Emma Watson, Saoirse Ronan. Is that how I say the name?
Did you say Saoirse?
How do you say the name?
Saoirse.
What?
Yeah, it's Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse.
Irish.
Yes.
My apologies, Saoirse.
That's all right. It kind of looks like Saoirse or.
I think
it does.
I
It looks like
Seahorse.
Suarze.
Seahorse Ronan.
I think she's used to people butchering her name.
Yeah, this was one of the films I put on my list at the start of the year of like 30 films I was probably going to try and go see. And I basically don't know anything about it except that when the trailer came out, Michael got hyped. So I was like, oh.
I did get hyped.
And I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to watch trailers if I can avoid it. So I haven't. I just know that it's one of the types of movies that I know my mum would probably watch.
What does that mean?
Like my mum's like really into like Downton Abbey and like those old like is it Victorian? Those kind of old the old English kind of stories. She loves those.
Set in the American Civil War.
Is that what? I don't even know that. So there we go.
Well, I mean, yeah, you haven't seen the trailer, but it looks great. And I mean, it's we've got the director of Lady Bird and everything.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet hitting it again. Hopefully going from Oscars because that guy's real cool.
I love him.
Oh yeah, I
love him so much.
We should be talking about these guys, the Oscar potential for these. I forgot to talk about that.
Oh yeah,
with 1917. But for this one, surely, right? Because I mean, Lady Bird was such a big thing.
Right.
It almost won Best Picture. Like it was so big.
Yeah, and then it's got a pretty stacked cast. It's again, it's a genre that's very much loved by the Academy, especially just sort of your period dramas as well. Probably get some nominations for a costume and those more and the art department,
which I always find
awards.
Hilarious. It's always like the most obvious costuming gets like all the costume design awards, or like anything that they can look at and be like, that's a costume, which is interesting because you'd think maybe that's not the point of good costume design.
Just the Academy just loves some corsets. So number 4.
They didn't nominate Pirates of the Caribbean, did they?
So with number 4, guess what, guys? We have to keep talking about Little Woman because that's my pick.
Cool.
For number 4. So I haven't seen the trailer either. I saw it come up like thumbnail, and I was like, "Oh, look at all these actors that I know."
That you don't know.
No, that I know.
Oh, yes.
So that's sort of why I'm excited about it. Yeah, just stacked cast. Obviously, Gerwig being involved. It just looks interesting, and I'm sort of interested to see what they do with it. And I've heard I've heard hype, and so therefore I'm also hyped.
It's quite a step up too from something like Lady Bird.
Yeah,
like going from that straight to like a period piece.
Yeah,
because
because Lady Bird was such like a like coming of age, like sort of more of an indie darling to like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a period piece. Yeah. Which I found interesting. So yeah.
Cool. My number 4. So this is like the, I guess, half biopic that I was talking about.
Okay.
I don't even know really what it is. I mean, I do because I've read a bit about it. But it's a movie called Honey Boy. And
yes.
So
I haven't heard about this.
It's really interesting. It premiered all the way back at, I think, Sundance or South by Southwest. It got pretty good raves. Like everyone's really excited about it. But what's interesting about it and is that not directed by, but it is written by and very much about Shia LaBeouf's experience growing up as an actor throughout childhood through like the opening shot of the trailer is like of Lucas Hedges, who's playing this sort of teenage or like young adult Shia on the set of Transformers. And it's just it's so amazing. Funny because Shia LaBeouf is just one of those people who has had one of the most insane lives, and to see him want to dramatize it in a film that just looks mental. It looks absolutely nuts. Like there's just so many different like stylistic elements going into it from the trailer. Every shot looks like it's from a different film. Like it's just so exciting.
That's pretty cool.
It's a film that like could break through. I think it's a wild card definitely in terms of Oscar play, but there is, I guess, and even if the film itself doesn't reflect it, I think I could see the Academy maybe jumping on this as like a redemption story arc and sort of being like, oh, okay, we could give Shia like a really good like screenplay nomination and kind of to get him up there and to do the speech and everything. Do you guys remember when that happened? He was at the world premiere of Nymphomaniac and he wore a bag on his head to the red carpet saying something like, I'm not famous anymore. Or,
I don't remember that.
And then he did a social experiment where he like sat on a chair in this room and people were allowed to just come into the room and pretty much do anything they wanted. Like they could yell at him, they could hit him, anything.
Wow.
And he just sat there in the chair and just took all of it for like days on end. It was like full on like David Blaine shit. Yeah, so he's been through a lot, eh?
Yikes. I mean, you haven't even mentioned that he's playing his own dad.
Oh my God, you're right. So Shia LaBeouf is playing his own dad in this film, which is amazing too because it's a lot of it's based on a pretty tumultuous relationship with his father. So it's almost like a cathartic kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just, what a strange...
I'm pretty sure we've talked about it. I'm pretty sure this came out in a headline once. I'm reading the headlines in one of our old podcasts. But it's just such a crazy like thing that even exists. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty excited for that one. I'd forgotten about it. Which moves you on to my number 4, I guess, which is Knives Out.
Cool. This premiered today.
Did it premiere today? I heard news coming out about it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's directed by Rian Johnson, who Star Wars fans hate, but if you've seen his other movies like Michael has, you probably love him. It's got a stacked cast as well because it stars Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Plummer, a bunch of other people. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I didn't even know that it was like a comedy. Apparently, is it a comedy?
It's like it's just like comedy mystery.
Comedy mystery, right?
Yeah,
wow.
It's sort of got its roots in like those Agatha Christie.
Okay.
Kind of like Murder on the Orient Express.
It's been getting good buzz, eh?
Amazing buzz.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. There was another one that was on my big list at the start of the year.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not be interested in it? With with a cast that big and Daniel Craig, I think he might be doing an American accent again.
Oh, is he?
Which is always funny. I don't know. It just makes me laugh.
Well, I hope I'll get laughs. Well, not I'll get laughs, but I hope that it will get laughs. Jojo Rabbit, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is my number 3 pick, of course. I'm really interested in this film because so it's it's like it's fucking Hitler, right? like
wait. I thought you were gonna say it's Taika Waititi, and then you said I'm interested in this film because it's Hitler.
Because it's like it's like one of the most terrible human beings that have ever lived, right? And and it's like satire as well. So it's I'm interested to see like how he deals with the subject matter, yeah. And like I think also satire is like a dying art form almost.
Really?
Yeah,
that's an interesting point.
Like I don't know, mate.
What do you mean?
But like that, because in the like political correctness like sphere that we live in, like I feel like it stops. Like a lot of time people don't get satire because
but it's not really about what issues you can or can't satirize. I think it's just the methods in which we are satirizing these issues probably need to change in some ways. So I think it's not really, I don't know if the art form itself is dying, but I think the way that we're doing it is probably changing. Yeah. Which I think is probably a good thing anyway. You know, like I get it, like offensive humor can be funny, but there's also like, as I think the trailer showed, because it had quite a few jokes which were like directly about the Holocaust, you know, but they were like handled in a way in which you're not laughing at the Holocaust. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's not what satire is, you know, you're laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation and the ridiculousness of that kind of point of view.
Yeah, I don't know. I think though that the thing of satire is is people are laughing at like you said the ridiculousness of the situation or the fact that it happened. Yes, right. But they're not necessarily. I think a lot of the time people mistake that for, and I think it's sort of easy to do with satire to it being like almost condoning it or you know what I mean? Yeah. So like. And I think a lot of the time people sort of miss the point of satire and even just general, you know, black comedy and that. Okay. Oh no, maybe that's just me. That's
a
lot
of it's intent, hey? Like a lot of it just comes with the intent and like what you kind of view that person's intent to be.
Yeah. I know. Maybe it's because I have a very twisted sense of humor. Like most of my, you know, favorite comedians, you know, your Jimmy Carrs, your
people who
those
they like
guys.
offensive comedy. And stuff. Yeah. Okay, sorry. The movie. Yeah.
So the movie, Oscar buzz wise. Yeah, I mean it's YTT. Like it's such an interesting, out of field sort of movie that it will be very interesting to see if it
goes anywhere.
Gets anywhere.
Do you think it's the type of movie that the Academy would ignore just for the sake of political correctness? Because I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna cause political controversy, or at least it won't except for amongst racist people. You know what I mean? So the racists will get the racists might really hate it. Well, that's good, isn't it? Yeah. But I mean, if you know anything about Taika Waititi, you know he's like, you know, absolute hater of racism. You know. Well, I mean, he made this movie. He even said he's like, I pretty much made this movie to make like white supremacists angry. Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's just so bold and amazing, and it's just something that you just don't see happening, anywhere else.
Well, I mean, not in this way. Not in this way. But that's kind of Taika's job.
And I'd say like it's so great that he got popular worldwide before this happened.
And now he's making his first kind of play at Oscars. Yeah. I mean, it's premiering at Toronto, so it shouldn't be far away either. It really should probably be premiering in the next couple of days. Wow. I think it's going to be good. I really liked the first trailer. I didn't like the second trailer.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it
as much. But I think as long as he doesn't do the thing that he has been doing, or at least he did it a lot in Hunt for Wilder People, where he basically just kept copying Wes Anderson movies.
Oh, really?
Or just kept doing things where I'm like, okay, you copied that from Wes Anderson movie. But I mean, well, he's our export, right? We have to. Yeah. He's New Zealand's export. We all gotta support the boy.
Yeah. Next time he needs to shoot a movie in New Zealand though, because isn't this done in like Scandinavia or something?
Well, maybe. I mean, number 3 is a Netflix film directed by Martin Scorsese.
There we go.
Which is just such a fucking ridiculous thing to say. It's called The Irishman, and it's 3.5 hours long, apparently. But it's starring Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Al Pacino, which is crazy. I don't even think have they ever all done a film together? I don't actually believe they have, which, at this late point in all of their careers is pretty amazing. And I'm sure Scorsese's probably wanted to do it for a very long time.
All right.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one because you're looking at a director who knows Oscar success pretty well, is about to make a film starring some really, really, really prominent actors who have all contended for, I don't know how many of them have won Oscars before, but they've definitely all contended for Oscars. But it's also being released by Netflix, who are kind of the Academy's public enemy number one, which I think is why Roma didn't win last year. And it's also 3.5 hours long.
Right.
So it's going to be fairly inaccessible to a mainstream audience. But I think the reason I'm most excited for it is just because it's always fun to see a master at work.
Right.
And the last movie he made was Silence, which was also rather long and rather inaccessible, but I loved it, and I really thought it was an amazing piece of work, and he's maturing really well.
Well, it's pretty accessible if it's on Netflix. You're just saying it's quite long, and so most people wouldn't kind of go for it.
Yeah. That sort of, not like not physically
right
inaccessible. It's just
it's like that kind of thing. Do I want to go to see?
Do I really want to watch this 3.5 hour movie? Yeah.
I'm definitely keen to see it as well, in theaters if we can.
Yeah, please.
I'm sure it will do a theater run.
Well, no, because haven't you heard? All of the major chains in America are not showing the film, so it's only showing in like a few independent theater chains. Yeah, because Netflix were offering such a shit window. They were basically saying, "Yeah, we'll show it in theaters, but we want to release it 2 weeks later," and the theaters were like, "No,
I see.
Absolutely not."
I see.
Because that just doesn't make sense.
Isn't that what happened with Roma last year, though? Wasn't it only about 2 weeks in theaters?
Yeah, but Roma showed here for what? How long?
It showed here for a while, but it was on Netflix pretty soon after it was in theaters.
Yeah, but theaters just aren't happy with that kind of window now.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're trying to push back as well. So,
well, we'll see what happens with that. My number 3 is 1917. So I'm
the Sam Mendes.
Yeah, the World War I one, which I kind of talked about before. So there's not much more to say about it from me anyway, but I'm pretty excited because I also really enjoy the war movies, and like I said, I want to see another World War One movie. I was quite intrigued last year when I saw the Peter Jackson's doco about World War One, which kind of was literally just giving you a taste of the life of those soldiers, which was kind of something we hadn't really seen, or at least I hadn't seen the perspective of before, which is quite interesting because it kind of takes you into the world that you haven't seen before, and and now going into a narrative version, seeing it with all these amazing special effects and everything, it will just just really take you in.
It's always cool to like when a movie is coming out that isn't like another superhero film or something that kind of has some scale to it.
Right.
I think that's always really cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like it's always impressive, like just to look at something like that and like these sort of like big long shots with all these extras, and you just like, it is a bit mind blowing to kind of be like, fuck, like how much work went into that kind of thing.
All right. Well, my number 2 pick is The Irishman. Surprise, surprise. So I mean, basically the same thing that I've been saying like for every film that's on my reasoning for like every film on this fucking list. It's Scorsese, so it's like, what's he gonna do? The fact that it's a stacked cast, as you mentioned, Michael. I'm just really interested to see what it is. You know what I mean? Like my curiosity of it.
Kind of drawing you in.
Drawing me in, exactly. Yeah. And then in terms of obviously the Oscar appeal's easy, like so apparent, right? Like like
minus if you don't
count the Netflix and the length as well.
If you don't count them, the Netflix barrier. And then as well, a thing that I was reading was it's got potential to get sort of makeup stuff with the de-aging.
I guess that would be VFX, eh? Yeah. So
that's right.
Another thing about this film is that
I
watched the budget climb over quite a few months because it started out and they were like, yeah, this movie's costing like 130 mil, and I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of money. And then they spent like 6 more months delaying the release of this thing because this thing was supposed to come out last year, and then they and it just kept going and going, and they were like, yeah, we need to spend more time de-aging Robert De Niro, and I think the final budget is over $200 million. Wow. And I can't help but wonder how much of that went to this like apparently incredible de-aging VFX that they had to use throughout the entire movie on multiple actors.
I didn't even realize that was...
They spent months de-aging Robert De Niro.
Let's hope it wasn't a case of they didn't plan well enough for it, and so they had to try and fix it in post, and it's kind of going to be like
a Henry
this
Cavill
situation.
situation.
Yeah,
The Superman mustache situation.
That was a very tight turnaround though, because it was obviously on a blockbuster, so you don't have as
yeah.
much time to change those things. But
yeah,
let's hope it is for the best.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, another Netflix movie, but I think this one has a lot more potential as an awards season contender because, well, it's premiered already, and it's getting amazing notices. But it's called Marriage Story, and it's by this director Noah Baumbach, who's made some really great films. He made Frances Ha. He made the Meyerowitz stories, which I watched with Ben the other day. But basically, this is a sort of double bill in terms of acting as well. You've got Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson going through a divorce.
Wait, did you say Adam Driver as Scarlett Johansson?
No, Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
We're going to have to play that back and see what word he said there, because that could be a different movie.
So they're playing a couple who sort of have a divorce that seems to start out rather amicable and then turn into a coast-to-coast divorce as she moves to California from their home in New York, and massive legal battles ensue, etc. And it's promising to be like really painful and funny and moving in every way. But I think the biggest plays will definitely be in screenplay and acting, just because Adam Driver, they did a tribute for him at Telluride Film Festival just recently, where Martin Scorsese got up on stage and called him the best actor of the generation, and so they're fattening him up, ready for the Academy.
Nice, yeah. Well, I'm excited as well.
So I think that's going to be really good. And yeah, there's some trailers that came out, which was some really cool promotional material where they kind of had one trailer from the point of view of Adam Driver's character and then one from the point of view of Scarlett's character.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, it sounds like quite a conventional plot. Or I don't know, films about divorce don't happen all the time, or films that very realistically convey what divorce might be like. And the director himself is actually kind of basing this on a few experiences that he had in his own divorce too.
Right. Anyway, my number, we up to 3 or 4 or 2?
Did no one have any thoughts about that movie except me?
I
know nothing about it, but except what you've said about Adam Driver, which excites me because I like Adam Driver. So
I see. We're up to number 2, so
number 2. Well, my number 2 is Joker, which
I really want to talk about this movie.
Before, basically, last week when it premiered, I kind of had no anticipation for it because I didn't know really anything about it, and apart from Joaquin Phoenix is in it, and kind of it's a
Joaquin Phoenix.
Isn't that what I said?
You said Joaquin.
Did I say Joaquin?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
Joaquin.
Sorry, names are just all over the place today. I did know that name. I just, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I am definitely intrigued by this, and hearing the amount of buzz that it's getting is just shot it up on my list because it's just getting such amazing reviews and all that kind of thing, which I haven't read anything, or I'm just trying to stay away, but I just kind of I'm excited because I've heard just everyone's just up in arms about how good it is apparently. Literally, they stood up for how long was it? 8 minutes?
Oh,
was that true?
Yes.
Did that really happen?
But if you know anything about film festivals, pretty much every film with a positive reaction at either Venice or Cannes gets a very long standing O.
Right.
Usually in excess of 5 minutes, if not longer. Yes.
Jeez.
So it's really not a harbinger of success, but it's just one of those things that people love to fucking write. It receives 8 minutes standing ovation. I'm that happens at every single one of those movies.
So people were standing and clapping for 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's actually amazing.
That's so strange.
Cannes releases the videos, and you just see it on the faces of the celebrities. They're kind of just sitting there, and it's
really?
And then eventually the clapping will turn from this to being everyone being duh. And then it'll go back to the normal clapping again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, Joker. I actually have quite a bit to say about this film because it's not in my top 5.
Right.
Mostly because I'm worried about it.
Okay.
Because let's just say, from what I can see with the trailers and a few reviews I've read, it seems that it might be possibly glorifying a kind of person that maybe it's not within the right political discourse to glorify at the moment. But it's hard to know, because reviews are saying different things. But the thing that most people seem to be agreeing on out of Venice is that it's a masterpiece, but it's dangerous.
Right.
And that's what people have been saying. It's actually quite a dangerous film because it's so good that it might inspire a kind of
Right. Okay.
a sort of a certain subculture.
Right.
What do they call them? Incels. You know, the whole incel subculture.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of the disenfranchised man who, you know, with a sense of self-importance, etc.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about it now is, did you hear the news about Venice?
No.
It won.
Oh, it won.
It won the
I did hear
Golden
that.
Lion, and
I did hear that.
that's a honor that's usually bestowed upon art films, or you know, like those kind of the films that people would call art films.
Isn't Joker an art film?
I guess
It's one of those weird.
But
It's like a first of its kind,
It's
basically.
a studio movie.
Yeah, it's a studio art
about
film
a
based on
superhero,
a comic book,
Yeah, based on comic book stuff,
which never happened before.
and directed by the person who made The Hangover. And it just won one of the most prestigious cinema awards of the year.
That's pretty insane.
Wow, damn.
And it's a tentpole movie.
Yeah.
So this thing's going to get Oscar play too because it's Joaquin.
Yeah.
No one believed him, the Venice director. He was like, "Oh, this is going to win all the awards," and he's like, "I'm not even kidding." And
Wow.
then yeah,
Exciting.
do you
Very
think?
exciting.
I think that Joker is my number one pick.
good. I want to keep talking about it.
What? Oh, because you don't have honorable mentions.
Yeah.
We should do our honorable mentions, shouldn't we? Well, you can talk about. You may as well talk about Joker because you've spilled the cat.
Yeah.
Out of the
You
bean.
spilled the cat out of the bean.
Out of the bean. Out of the bean bags.
Damn you, Tyler.
Spilled the cat out of the bean bag. Is what I like to say.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I've heard I've heard the hype, and so that's like I haven't seen the trailers.
That's
I'll
quite
probably-
funny because
I'll probably watch.
you famously hate all comic movies.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's rare for me to like. I'm very interested to see how Phoenix's performance and sort of because I've heard that his performance is one of the highlights of the film, and so I'm interested to see how it compares to other portrayals of the Joker, and in particular Ledger's.
Yeah.
You know, who's like the best Joker performance. I think majority of people would.
I think most people would agree.
Most people would.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if how Phoenix compares to that.
To be honest, I always think it's almost unfair to compare different Jokers because they're always different interpretations.
Yeah.
From a writing perspective as well.
And you're almost comparing the interpretations rather than
exactly.
than the performances.
That was a huge part of it. Yeah.
It's going to be a culture test. Like it's going to be a test because the Joker's not even like the Joker's kind of a meme now. You know, people are always making, you know, like people always like to do the whole like, oh, we live in a society thing. Put like a Joker face on things. But this is going to be an interesting thing because it's almost a film for a very certain type of person.
I can picture
it's
now.
So, you know, it's kind of scary. Like it's going to be kind of weird.
But I can picture now the meme, you know, the meme of Joker when he says, you do one tiny thing and everyone loses their minds. You know that one?
Yeah.
From The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
There's going to be a meme relating to that when Joker comes out and a bunch of people are in uproar about it or whatever. And there's going to be someone who makes a meme with the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. It won the Golden Lion.
You can't stop talking about it. How's it not in your top 5?
I think
you can't. Are you personally not that excited to see it?
I'm not. I mean, I don't really like. Yeah, I'm not that excited to see it. Like, it looks alright,
Right.
But it's more like the hype is just crazy surrounding this thing. Like as a film, you know,
Right.
and it's a different kind of hype than like maybe hype that you would get from like a regular like old Marvel movie. Like people are genuinely feeling like this is going to be
a completely
huge.
different thing. Yeah.
But personally, I think I'm just worried because I'm kind of a bit sick of that kind of film.
Of superhero movies.
No, I'm kind of sick of movies that seem to like glorify this kind of like person who is actually kind of an asshole or,
Right.
you know, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so should we do
Shoot off your honorable
honorables?
mentions, yeah.
Okay, Queen and Slim. Now, I don't know a lot about this, but I know it has Daniel Kaluuya.
Okay.
And basically, he's part of a couple who get involved in a confrontation with some police. They get pulled over. It's an African-American couple. And they end up killing the cop and going on the run, Bonnie and Clyde style, basically. And it shows their journey across America as they meet a lot of interesting people of all sort of different backgrounds and sort of become like mythologized
Right.
as they're on the run. So,
Okay.
you're sort of watching this happen. That looks really interesting. Little Women, we've talked about quite a bit.
Yeah.
Waves from Trey Edwards Schultz, who made the horror movie It Comes at Night a few years ago.
Okay.
It seemed to disappoint a lot of people, but I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
This is kind of more in the vein of something like I don't know, it's been called like a poetic kind of musical. It's not a musical, but uses a lot of music, drama, sort of in the vein of something like Moonlight.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit. Ford v Ferrari with Matt Damon and Christian Bale.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't really care about cars, but it looks like some good solid. It's probably going to get nominated for like everything.
Oh, okay.
That kind of film. Knives Out. We've talked about Joker. It's on my honorables mostly because I'm interested to see what happens.
Right.
And Parasite, which I've seen. I think Ben's seen. I don't know if Matt has
I haven't seen it,
but
I'm to see it.
it's the best thing I've seen in fucking forever. It's so tightly knit. Every single piece of this movie fits together. It's a Korean film from Bong Joon-ho, who's made a couple of films in English as well, Snowpiercer and Oksha. But yeah, it's just a film that kind of examines two families in Korea, one very rich and one very poor, as the poor family kind of integrates themselves into the rich family. And that would kind of be all I'd want to say. But it's ridiculous in the ways that in the directions that it goes. And it's legitimately one of the most shocking movies I've seen in a very long time because it keeps morphing into something else.
Yeah.
What about you?
So my honorable mentions, the only one that I haven't seen yet is The Lighthouse.
Oh my God.
Which I feel like
that looks amazing.
Michael's very excited about as well, starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. Did you actually forget about it?
Well, I didn't think, I thought, because, with Parasite, it's like, that'll be nominated for things. But with Lighthouse, I wasn't sure.
Oh, because you don't know.
It looks so crazy.
It premiered today at Toronto, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been at Cannes as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other ones I have seen being Parasite, which, of course, should be nominated
It
for
should
everything.
win everything.
Yeah. Also, Bacurau, which
Oh, wow.
I saw at the New Zealand International Film Festival, which I would at least hope would just be up for a foreign film nomination.
Brazil might not put it up.
Oh, really?
Because it's a political protest pretty much against their government. There's a bunch of controversy going on right now about what they're going to do. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
But I really hope they pick Bacurau.
I love the film so much.
That movie was crazy.
It was really well made. Little foreign film, from Brazil. Then Apollo 11, which at the moment feels like it's definitely going to win Best Doco.
It's definitely going to be in there, isn't it? Yeah.
Because, we saw that at the Film Fest, and that was a sight to behold. It's a lot like, actually, They Shall Not Grow, the Peter Jackson World War I doco, but with Apollo 11, basically all this footage that hasn't been seen before that they've kind of...
and really beautiful footage.
Yeah, really
it was,
amazing.
65 or 70 millimeter huge format film.
Yeah.
Stock.
And it looks great, and it was all told through kind of all that footage and interviews and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I expect that will do big things. And then in terms of animation, I've got How to Train Your Dragon 3 and Weathering with You, which I both think are going to be hopefully will be both contenders.
You think How to Train Your Dragon 3 will be a contender for animated?
For Best Animated, yeah, for sure.
No. Definitely not.
Are you serious?
Why would that movie be nominated for Best Animated Feature?
What else is it going to be?
No attention. Toy Story 4.
Yeah, there's going to be like at least 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not
It's
going to be
nominated.
Well, what else has come out?
Literally just...
What else has come out?
The best animated movies is just whatever kids' movies came out this year, which is Toy Story, How to Train Your Dragon, and I don't know, is there a Minions movie out this year? I don't know.
Is there a Minions movie out this year?
I
hope there's a Minions movie.
If there was a decent animated movie that came out this year, I would have seen it, which was Toy Story and How to Train Your Dragon. Like, as in kids' movies.
Did Pixar not have anything else out this year?
No. They usually only do one a year.
I still don't think
Of course it will be nominated.
It won't.
And have you seen it?
No.
No, so what are you bloody talking about? I think it's the most well-made of the How to Train Your Dragon films. I think the animation is just beautiful, and the storytelling, the visual storytelling that they use is really beautiful. And then also Weathering with You, which is the anime by the same director as Your Name, which is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Another really beautiful film from him, which I just really, really hope gets at least nominated, because he deserves, that recognition on that level. And in terms of out of the two, which I would think would most likely win, I can't tell. I think they're both pretty good. Like Withering With You, I'd say is a better movie, but in terms of like the animation and how it's used, I would almost vote for How to Train Your Dragon. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
What's going to win Best Animated Feature? You think Toy Story 4 will win?
It probably will.
It probably
which
will.
I'll be so disappointed by.
Dude, they've literally had like Pixar introduce the animated feature category before. Like they're like, now to introduce the animated feature category, and like a character will come up on the screen and do it.
Oh god.
And then Inside Out will win, or something.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, anyway, that's my honorable mention. So give us your number one, Michael.
Does Matt want to talk about his honorable mention?
He doesn't have any.
You don't have
and
any.
He's already told us his number one.
Oh my god, I get to talk about my number one.
Yeah.
What's your number one, Michael?
Sorry, I'm very excited. My number one is Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler.
I knew you were going to talk about this film. I knew it.
And directed by the greatest young American filmmakers of our generation, the Safdie brothers, who made a little movie a couple years ago called Good Time with Robert Pattinson in an equally transformative role. And it was honestly, I'll just talk about that movie. It was an extremely fast-paced experience that kind of puts you through the ringer as you're watching it, and doesn't let you breathe. And this movie feels and looks like a continuation of the same thing. People were coming out of the screen, People were coming out of the screening at Telluride in a daze. They were saying, "Holy shit, I can't talk about this until I've had a really good sleep."
You're talking about Good Time?
I'm talking about Uncut Gems. Sorry. Like people were genuinely saying, I couldn't sleep for hours after I watched this movie. I was so panicked and so just like throttled.
Wow.
Like it was like, like people were saying that this movie is pretty much just, it's cocaine. It's cocaine, like you're constantly on your toes. People were saying that they felt like they were going to have a heart attack. Like, this just sounds crazy. And it's got Adam Sandler in it. What is that all about? Yeah. So Adam Sandler almost never does serious films, and when he does, he always does a really good job. Yet he still continues being an immature idiot in his own films, but whatever. Yeah, and you've got these two young filmmakers who have kind of risen up through the independent scene over the matter of a decade, and now they've broken into the big time, and this is like their project that they've been wanting to do since they started, and they're finally doing it with Adam Sandler, and it's got Kevin Garnett, the basketball player, in it, playing himself. Apparently there's a scene where Adam Sandler is like ends up being locked in the boot of a car naked, and it's in like the first 20 minutes of the movie. Like, it sounds insane and so visceral, and the score is being done by the same guy who did the score on Good Time. It's just this like ultra like pulsing electronic like beast of a thing. Yeah, I'm so excited to see this movie. I will be there as soon as I can. Yeah. Nice. Wow, you've just really hyped me up for it now. Oh yeah, so I'll just explain the plot real quick and talk about the awards prospects for it too. Right. I think it's probably an acting play mainly for Adam Sandler, because it sounds like a movie that the Academy's probably going to spit out and say yuck, because it's so apparently intense. But he plays like a Diamond District dude. Basically, he's got his own like appointment only jewelry store there, where you're selling these like huge like imported rocks of like diamond and stuff like that. And I'm guessing it all goes sour. What's your number one? Well, my number one's Jojo Rabbit, which we've already talked about. Fucking Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, the reason it's my number one is because it's like the one I am most looking forward to seeing, not necessarily what I think will do the best at the Oscars, but I'm obviously really excited to be seeing another Taika film because he's amazing and everything he does is gold, basically. So yeah, and I'm really excited to see kind of how his career works and what he's going to be doing. Because like I love that he's gotten famous and is doing big movies now. Yeah. But also I hope he just keeps doing these awesome like his own little projects, which and even this is kind of like reasonably bigger than what he has done. Well, it's got a big cast, because Scarlett's in it. ScarJo. Oh really? Yeah. I don't even know that. See, I don't know. See, I don't. That's the thing about. It's weird that these are all like my most anticipated movies where I don't know anything about them. Yeah. Basically. The one thing I'll say about Taika is sometimes I wonder if he knows he's funny a bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
kind
I
of
do,
got
I
that.
do know what
He
you
does
mean.
seem to have a bit of an ego about him where he just like,
Yeah.
he feels like he can kind of say anything he wants.
Exactly. And get a laugh out of it, you mean?
So I guess like that's
Yeah.
the one thing that I'm a bit scared about is like usually in his films when he does pop up and star in his own things, it's it's always been pretty earnest. But with this, it's like it's such a central role, and there's so much chance for ridiculousness and over the top jokes. I wonder.
That's a really good point.
I really hope that he doesn't. But like, it could be brilliant.
That's a really good point. Because like with Boy, like where he's quite a main role, and that's also quite a dramatic film as well. That's a kind of like what I would almost say is a pinnacle Taika, because it encapsulates everything. It encapsulates the humor and the heart. And that's the reason he got hired by Marvel, was because of Boy, and because he could balance that drama and that comedy. And that's kind of like something that when Thor came out, I was like, oh, you didn't actually deliver that dramatic aspect, really.
No,
It was kind of all about the comedy, because that's what he was kind of most well known for. So that's kind of, I guess, what he played into. So bringing up a good point there. I hope it's more than just comedy.
And also the fact that in the trailer it says a satire from Taika Waititi, and I don't know. To me, it just feels like satire is often really good when it's not being so self-aware about the fact that it's a satire. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like just the fact that he calls it a satire himself is like, okay, you know that you already kind of know what you're making here,
right?
You know, I don't know.
Most people know what movies they're making when they make.
No,
a movie.
I guess what I mean is like he's probably got a very set in stone opinion on this. It's been that way for a long time, and I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. And that brings us to the end of this top 5 segment, which leads us into the next segment, which is the crunchy comment segment of the show, which is the last segment of this episode of the podcast.
Do we even have any comments? We never have comments.
That's a great point. Well, it's been a long time since we have...
it's been a long time in between drinks.
And
you guys heard that song?
No, what does it mean?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It looks like we don't have anything. So that's crazy. We're obviously not doing very well if we haven't got any comments in like 3 months.
All good.
So, this is time for you. If you have any comments or any questions or your opinions, literally anything, huck us a comment in wherever this video is, and or on the live chat if you want to join us live. You can talk to us directly and we'll answer your questions in the episode itself.
Yeah, go give us some love in all the various social medias. We're on all of them, pretty much.
All of them.
It's quiet, guys. It's so quiet. We're lonely.
Which, and I guess brings us to the end of this
Part
podcast. I don't know if we're going to be calling them part 1, 2, or we're just going to call it episode 1 and then episode 2. And I think that's how it'll make more sense. Otherwise, it's confusing.
Yeah.
But if you're watching live, don't go away, because we're going to keep recording the next podcast right now. But if you're not watching live, well, you should, because then you get a whole podcast,
Stick
whole extra podcast early, basically.
It's still all of us here.
I've been Benjamin.
I've been Matt.
I've been Michael.
And we'll see you
guys next time.